You guys are watching Audiotree.tv live, and today in the studio with us, we have the Devil Wears Prada. You guys want to get started on your first song? Cool. Let's go.
Free from the weight of my dirt poor health. New drugs to fix all my missing cells. Didn't bring it up cause I've done so well this week. I thought that if I tried a little bit harder you'd change your mind. Still got nowhere to be. Don't do too well. Nobody's worried. Nobody's worried about me. I shouldn't have built a house in the middle of your chest. Plywood boards joined at your breast. Splinter in my arm where you rest your head. Checking my watch till you come to bed. Kiss me goodnight with your sour breath. Place on my like a wave of emptiness. When I talk, I just taste regret. You're everything I want and I'm all you drive.
Control for gateway. Orbiter armor tracted. Out.
Roger, Houston.
We have GLS confirmation of fuel and main engine check.
Roger, Control. How are we looking for that 11:28 launch time? Over.
Looking good, Commander. Weather's first rate.
Copy that, Houston. Roger.
Auto sequence start in T-minus 30 seconds, gateway.
Visors closed.
External vent closed and hydrogen pressure is building for takeoff.
Roger, over.
Gateway, this is Control. You are go for launch. Countdown management has been switched to onboard systems. Over.
We are go for launch. Over.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. You guys are watching Audiotree live, and we're in the studio with The Devil Wears Prada. I want to talk about the first song really quick, Sour Breath. I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, it's a cover of a Julian Baker song. Does anyone want to speak to how we decided that was going to be the song to cover?
I don't know. It like the record is fantastic. Gosh, I'm trying to think of like what I was doing when I like, hey guys, we should cover Julian Baker because she was on Audiotree and we all lost our minds.
So it was your call.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we tried to reach out and we're like, hey, is this cool? But we never actually made contact. So I don't know if it like came out and she's like, oh my, this song was just butchered.
Well, if she hasn't heard it yet, I mean, I'm sure she has, but this may be the moment. So, we're all
great record though, great song. Yeah.
Hell yeah, we're all pretty big fans of her here too. So when I saw that on the list, I was excited. Also, a note about the art that you guys chose, or I don't know who did it, but whoever did, it's like seems like quite a departure from previous records art. How did we arrive at that decision for this style?
So Micah Sedmak did the artwork, who's actually here. He's in the studio shooting photos. He's Hi, Micah. Go away now. Micah's one of my best friends in the world, and him and I work together on design we used to run like a t-shirt company and whatnot, so we've been really close, and he was playing around with this mood board that he sent me when we were working on something, like maybe a t-shirt or whatever for a tour, and when I saw like the bare teeth, and then I don't know, that yellow we use, just, it all feels really right. I know, like, I was told on the internet that it was a hack job and just slopped together, but I promise it took some time.
Oh, I completely disagree. I think it's great, yeah.
Everyone can direct their hate towards Micah on Instagram and tell him that he's no good at album artwork.
There you go.
Although he's done our last, like, 4.
We'll stick his handle in the comment section of this, for sure, so people can direct that.
He's already there.
You guys want to move on to the next song? Sure. Cool.
Daughter? Yeah. We can do it.
Overrun lifetime. I never loved her. My daughter. Saves the bag of distorted shit. I'm lost now. I'm lost. Universal absent. Madness. Overrun lifetime. I never loved her. My daughter. Before their one, selling. I could have sworn but enough every memory away. It's an agony, but enough ain't no. Every memory away. It's an agony. Lifetime. I never loved her. My daughter. Overrun lifetime. I never loved her. My daughter. I can't carry an attack like that. So let us pity them. I can't carry an attack like that. So let us pity them.
We're in the studio with The Devil Wears Prada at Audiotree Live today. We have to take a moment to talk about your vocals, Mike. someone who doesn't know anything about how screaming properly works, I have to know, is it now or has it ever been a health concern? Why? What's the right way to do it? For me, because I'm looking to get into myself, let's be honest.
Okay, you can come over.
Okay.
We'll yell in my basement. It's had its swings, and it's so difficult to predict it, and that's something that, like, mentally and emotionally I struggle with. It's not something where, like, this is the remedy to a broken string that might keep happening, or, any cheap analogy I can think of. But, I really don't know. I try to take care of it. I actually stopped exercising on tour, which sucks because I'm chubbing up and getting that beer belly. But at the same time, like, resting that panting in your voice. But at the same time, like, when people ask anything about it, I think it's so much placebo, and it's what I tell myself in my head. And it's managing your emotions. It's like, I don't know, like an athlete not getting too steamed, blow out a hamstring or something. It's a lot monitoring it. It's a lot. If you try 120%, your voice is going to sound the same as if you try kind of fall back a little bit and give it 70%. I promise you, the audience will get the exact same portrayal of what you're doing. So I think that's kind of a part of it too. But
cool. Are there any like specific examples of maybe when if it ever was, I don't know, if it ever was a problem, something that happened?
One of the first one that comes to mind, I think the worst one was we did a live DVD shoot called Dead and Alive. And we filmed it in Worcester, Massachusetts, outside Boston at the Palladium. And it was towards the end of the run. And my voice was just fried by the time we got there. So the remedy was that, well, this might sound like a total cop-out. The vocals are all live, but they're from Texas on that DVD. So, I've still pounded through and did the show with just the rest of those shows. We went like up to Canada and New York City, and I tried to kind of, finish the run, and I guess I did, but I had no range. It was bad. Yeah. Very bad.
For the record, today, all the vocals are actually happening here. Hence the question. Speaking of like being on tour and maybe not using your voice as much as you used to, I feel like I heard that you read a lot. A lot more than probably practicing vocals when you're not playing a show.
Oh no, I don't practice vocals.
Okay,
I do in my basement a little bit now.
Yeah.
I'm evolving.
What are some recent books?
Right now I am working on Dead Souls by Nikolai Gogol. Pretty sure Nikolai. And it is absolutely phenomenal. I just finished. Oh gosh. A newer novel, a contemporary novel called A Gentleman in Moscow, and it's terrific. It's like this, it's a Boston-born, like, Stanford dude, and he was like some sort of, like, rich financial guy or whatever, and then one day he's like, oh, I'm going to write novels, and I'm going to be really good at it. So I was reading that. That was an excellent read. I believe his name is Amor Towles. I could be totally butchering that, but it got me back into a Russian kick, so I was like, I've never read any Pushkin, and I ended up on Gogol rather than Pushkin. And Dead Souls is incredible. You can tell he writes as kind of like a playwright. Like, it reminded me when I used to read like Oscar Wilde plays, the way that he involves comedy in it. But Dead Souls is awesome. I haven't been reading this week, and that sucks, but I'll get back to it soon.
Okay, I'm collecting all those suggestions after this because I think the last time I read a book was like maybe like 6th grade or so.
So Kyle always jokes about it that he read Shiloh.
Yeah, that was mine as well. That's weird.
Good story.
You guys want to get going on the next song?
Was it Buck who abused Shiloh?
Yes.
Jed.
Oh, right. Well,
I always get my Jeds and Bucks mixed up.
Walking to my face, Pittsburgh to Portland, Maine. I'm a little restless, feeling like I need a change. By way of Brooklyn and up to Boston, I'm disenchanted, considering
You're watching Audiotree.tv live, and we're in the studio with The Devil Wears Prada. Let's see. You guys kind of, it's got to have been at least 10 years that since you guys started picking up some serious traction. I mean, it must have been because your third record, I think it came out 10 years ago this year, right?
Yeah, early next year. So we're doing a 10-year tour, a half year early. So on the mention of internet comments, you can direct all hate on that towards us directly, not Micah. So if you have a really hard time with the 10-year tour at 9.5 years,
yeah,
you need to focus your energy
on a
somewhere.
related note, for a retired social platform, 10 years ago or so was the era of MySpace, and I feel like you guys were one of those bands that picked up a lot of traction via MySpace, or at least you were on a lot of my friends' like profile songs. Can we go around the room, and you can pass if you must, but I want to hear at least one memorable, even just to you, top 8 MySpace for who was in your top 8. And you can't say Tom, the creator of MySpace.
No, get him out of there.
Oh, he was my number 1, but that's why I'm saying you can't. Yeah, he's out of the question. Anyone, a personal friend, this is an opportunity to shout out to some old friends.
Paul Fisher for sure was in my top 8.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Paul, who's watching right now. What's funny is I always, when I think about top 8s, I remember looking at, that's how I found out about bands. And really, now that I look back, I could have just like looked at Sargent House's website and been like, oh, these are bands I like or something, you know? But I found, that doesn't really answer the question.
No, that's okay. You're not expected to all tell me like some random person that I don't know.
John maybe needs to mention his favorite grind band that was in there.
Not grind band, but just shout out to Cradle of Filth for really just shaping me as a child.
That's really something to be shaped by as a child.
Yeah. I mean, you wouldn't know, but man, Cradle of Filth.
Were they on MySpace? That's
Oh yeah, they were on MySpace. Many a profile song was provided by them.
It's a profile song without blast beats.
I know. I can tell you that over 50% of my MySpace friends, it was Blast Beat City for the profile songs. On a more serious note, since it's been 10 years since that record, it was it's with Roots Above and Branches Below, correct? Mm-hmm. How do you guys look at that? How do you see that record now? How have you developed since, musically, philosophically, whatever?
I mean, like the obvious things are like member lineup changes, you know, as far as Giuseppe, John, and Kyle playing with us now. Andy, Germs, and I are original dudes. I think that, not to bring up lineup changes, but I think it's hard to perceive that they're always for the better. Not, for us, you know, it's better for everyone involved, and having different guys involved with us it warps things so differently. I mean, like Kyle wasn't really so much of a metal guitar player at all, but was a friend, and I thought he'd be the right dude when Chris decided to call it. So yeah, I mean, the obvious answer is that as far as the evolution and whatnot. As far as like perception of the old stuff, we've always been pretty unabashed about the old stuff was garbage. We do not like it. We are not playing these silly songs from when, you know, we're 17 or whatever. And people get upset about that, and understandably so. I mean, if a favorite artist of mine said something like that, I would get it. But I don't know. With Roots, we were last night at dinner actually saying like, it's just the record is just riff, and not a lot of substance to most of it, and not enough of a coherent idea and substance to each song. But I think the nice thing I felt was hearing those riffs, and we're going to be hearing it the rest of the year, and getting back to looking at things a little more rhythmically, looking at things like riffs as well as what we've done melodically.
There are a lot of really good keyboard parts on With Roots that I'm very excited to, play live.
Nice.
Just
Yeah, I mean, I can always respect any artist that's looking to uncover something, thinking forward artistically, compositionally, what have you. And it's okay to look back on your old stuff and be like, well, that was me another time. That's why I asked the question. So I think you guys have one more song, yeah?
Yep.
All right, let's hear it.
Let's do it.
You had your hand out the car window.
This has been Audiotree.tv live, and we had in the studio with us today The Devil Wears Prada. I just want to give a quick thanks to you guys for coming in and doing this. It sounded awesome. And, of course, our video crew, our agile video crew, and our sound engineers in the back, Rick and Brock. Until next time, thanks.
All right, so you guys want to do it for real now?